There might be honestly be like a lot of like debate on how the lady dwarf should look like, because I don't know.
They
There's
gave
like
me
there's a huge
four
movement
different
that's
appearances for like men dwarves. I would like to be a lady dwarf.
yeah. That's the thing though. Is like whenever people like make uh whenever like creators make dwarfs, they always make the lady dwarf look very like svelte and slender. But like Tolkien's lady dwarves were just as burly and had some of you have facial hair in Tolkien's like epics.
Hmm.
I think I think what's his name? Not Gimli. Gimli's father or whoever. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Gloin. Gloin. I can't even remember now.
He has that like little locket of how his wife
Yeah.
and son look like, and she like very visibly has kind of like a beard. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for joining us on another episode of Mecha Panda Plays. We're continuing on our adventure with Jack Archer and the Robotech saga. And yeah, let's get
And we're
it.
hoping, yeah, we're just hoping to not leave a man behind.
That was one time. Okay, it was like a few times, but yeah.
Yes, a little bit before we started recording, we were just mentioning, uh, when you have the ability to choose your character, I appreciate as a woman, I appreciate a female character option to play
Mm-hmm.
as in my games. That's just me. I do appreciate it. Um, and yeah, I'll just leave that on the table because it's something that I really do enjoy, especially in a world where customization is now possible
Mm-hmm.
with a
Mm-hmm.
lot of games. I do like the option of playing as a woman in games.
So do I.
There you go.
No, like uh, my sister always picks like the male character model option.
Hmm,
I always pick the female character options.
that's fair. In like a lot of games where you have the options, right? Depending on, I try to pick the character who I imagine would be the protagonist in the game, especially when you can customize. So that's kind of my
Well,
jam.
like
I like.
it's just like you have all this variety, right? You
Oh
might
yeah,
as
oh yeah.
well.
I do think that I do default to the female character most well because I do identify as such, but mostly because I like the idea of having more female protagonists and things and whatnot. So I will say that my next playthrough on some games, I am going to try the male characters just because they have unique dialogue options as the female characters too, and I kind of just want to know the whole story.
It's you know what? Here I'll tell you what. All your characters should be polyamorous.
Yeah, I don't
Or
have a
like
problem with that.
in the I mean like in the setting of in the interest of game design and also like and dialogue, you know? Cuz
Mhm.
I don't know, it just keeps the story keep it on its toes, you know?
Well, I mean, so I was reading earlier last week actually an article about I think we're all aware of Mass Effect 2 and how it was, quite the game when it came out, right? Everyone was talking about it. And how the Mass Effect series originally had gotten some flack because of the I guess the super graphic, not really, sex scene in Mass Effect 1 between Shepard, either or Shepard female or male with Liara, the Asari, right? And one of the characters in Mass Effect 2, Jack, right, was actually meant to be pansexual.
Really?
Yeah, was actually meant to be pansexual. Which, if you actually listen to her dialogue as she's explaining her past and her story, does make sense, right? But unfortunately, the developers were a little afraid of having another scandal, much like I guess the little scandal that they had with Mass Effect 1. So they ended up making her a heterosexual character.
Ugh,
And
man.
that and I was a little sad when I heard that. I was like, "Oh, like that's that's it just doesn't feel the same." Because like, yeah, if the character is meant to be pansexual and a lot of like the dialogue supported that original writing, I just go like, "Oh, like that makes a whole ton of sense now."
It really does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But that's why, like, man, I hate American what are they called? Journal. Who made us think about it anyway? Like journalists or
I think
something
it
like
was
that.
Fox News, honestly, I'm not sure. I'd have to reread the article, but I'm pretty sure that it was just, like, a segment on one of the news stations.
See, like they always got to ruin something, some a good thing, you know? Like you got to
Well,
realize that
it's enough that it would hurt it just hurt the story a little bit, that's the thing.
but it's also like that they're so worried about like censorship, and it was like that's literally what you're doing right now. Like
Well, the thing is, like,
they gotta realize that the world doesn't revolve around them, and it's just, people are should be free to tell their own stories. You know,
well,
that's
and the thing is, like, representation, it's super important, especially, when, you have lots of people who have lots of different backgrounds, lots of different walks of life and everything, and, you know, that's completely normal to me. Right? To have such a variety of different characters who have different circumstances, different backgrounds, different joys in life, different desires,
different
different goals,
experiences.
different everything, right? And when we start pushing everything into one single mold, then it ceases to be interesting.
Exactly. But it's so that's kind of choked, man, because
Mhm.
and it's also like not cool because like if these news reporters just never even heard of Mass Effect up until that point, so
Yeah,
what's the big deal?
I don't know, but all I'm going to say is Jack is a kick-ass character, and I wouldn't be sad if the remaster brought that back.
Nope, I wouldn't either.
They are doing that Legendary Edition remaster, so we'll see what happens. Oh no! Oh no! Come in, Jack. What is your status?
Yeah, I got so choked over representation as
Yeah, I
it
know.
was my demise. But, but
I
yeah,
got you.
no, but like yeah, no, like it gets me that that reporters would do that, but it also would get me that uh that the developer would just bend over for
It
that
it
kind of
it gets me that these things still matter.
yeah.
That's I think the big thing for me, right? Is that I tell the story the way the story needs to be told, through
Yeah.
the perspectives that need to be told,
But it's also like
right?
why would they give a damn what these people thought about their game in the first place? Obviously the game isn't meant for them.
I think it's just a matter of, and then I'm only speculating because I was obviously not anywhere near part of that project. I was very young at the time anyway, and all that kind of stuff. And this is just a recent development. I only just learned this, right? But I can imagine that they were just worried about flopping and not being able to tell the whole story. Cut your losses here so you can
uh,
go the distance.
that's strange that they were worried about flopping when they wrote that ending for Mass Effect 3 though.
Mhm. I don't know. It's tough. Like we've heard a lot about different artists that take into the audience perspective and then end up actually changing their original plans, their original story. This is just a moment of self doubt, I think, that the creators have, right, when they start worrying about the perspectives of others. So,
Like
I mean, it's easy for us to comment on it now, right? But it's uh, I'm not saying I agree with the decision. I'm just saying that I have a little bit of understanding, I guess, of where they were coming from. But yeah, I just
As
as a writer myself, I just think yeah, you
it,
got to tell the story the way it needs to be told. Respect the characters that you've created, and this probably would have been a deal breaker for me.
if you had, if you, I mean, if you were in that
If someone said
position,
to me, "Hey, your character's sexual orientation will not be widely received," this would be a deal breaker for me. I feel like I'd be like, "Well, I need to write it this way."
yeah, like especially nowadays when a game like Mass Effect probably paved the way for that kind of thing. So
Yeah,
it's easy to judge now, but like
yeah, yeah. I know.
at the time
Just
at the time that it came out, it was like it was revolutionary for
mhm.
even having that option in the first place.
And honestly, having played through the game many times, right? Uh, if I hadn't read this article, I probably wouldn't have thought too much about this, really. Um, but yeah.
So I just hear the phrase Fox News. I'm like, oh, of course. These both the men and women in there clutch their pearls, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I'd have to reread the article to like confirm it, but I'm pretty sure that's who it was.
It wouldn't surprise me honestly. Jeez. It's
Nice. I always
about as annoying as these missile launching freaks here.
I always find it interesting when we are like in this moment where we're literally between the transition of two consoles, like two generations of consoles, because I don't know about you, that's when most of the remaster talk comes out and the carryover talk for a lot of games.
The
And I
carryover
get
time? Yeah.
well, yeah, so like if you just finish like so basically you have to decide as a game developer when you realize that your game is coming out in the in between stage between a previous console and a new console, what console you're going to go all in on. Because very rarely can you adapt your game to both be backwards compatible and forwards with enough graphic power.
Yeah. It's you know what? It's I even remember like some of the problems that some games had crossing over to the PS4. So,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
but like even it's sad because even there's even some games that got left behind that that weren't. I think that got killed off for that same reason.
Yeah, like it's a toughie because actually, watching documentaries has taught me that a lot of the rare Nintendo games, NES games, for example, that we've never heard of, which aren't bad games, by the way. Like they are quite good in some instances, but they're super rare because they just ended up coming out at the end of the NES's life,
Yep, yep.
right? Where the Super Nintendo was just coming out, right? So people just never bought it just because they went all in on the wrong console.
Like yeah, I think even we're lucky that we even got Star Fox 2 as a remaster,
Star Fox.
or not a remaster, as a re-release,
Hmm.
because that's exactly what happened to them. They had a it was coming out on the tail end of the SNES, and they wound up having to put all their to just like cancel the game because they didn't think it was gonna. They're putting all their eggs on the N64 at that time.
Hmm. Which don't get me wrong, N64 is a great console.
Oh yeah,
Probably the one I grew up the most on. But yeah, there are just some of them that when they get that tail end, they get left behind, and it is sad.
like honestly, like as someone who's like been playing through Star Fox for a while, Star Fox 2 to be specific, it's a fantastic game. Re- Honestly, if they released it at the time, it would I think it would have done well. And because it's just so fresh.
Hmm.
Actually, a lot of the concepts for for Star Fox 2 got placed in a DS game. Jeez, I can't even remember
Hmm.
which one. But yeah, that DS title had like that multiple branching story paths and everything like that, different endings. Pretty wild.
So good.
Honestly, I miss Star Fox. Playing
It
like games like this, that the aerial dogfighting style, super stylistic stuff, kind of just makes me nostalgic for playing with Star Fox 64 because it was so good, man.
Well, I think Star Fox, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Star Fox is one of the first games that attempted the 3D, like just in general,
Yeah,
right?
it was the very first Star Fox for the
Hmm.
I think it was for the Super Nintendo. That the very first like I think successful polygon style
Hmm.
game. Uh, I might be completely wrong, but it was just one of the more successful ones because of how good it looked at the time, and it's just like it's the building blocks for how a lot of games are made nowadays
Hmm.
with the polygons. When you if you play that game right now, it looks exactly like how a pre development phase of a game would look like if they were building one today. You know.
Yeah, because I think of like around that time. Yeah, I think Star Fox is probably one of the biggest, or if not the first, to use a lot of 3D. And then I think immediately to like id Software, so like Wolfenstein, Doom, like attempting that 3D movement as well on a different scale, obviously not in the air,
Right, right,
but on the ground, running around and stuff like that. Yeah, it's the history of video games in a nutshell.
like Star Fox was so important to Nintendo's history. It makes me sad that the only title we've got so far is a spin-off from Starlink and their latest one from the for the Wii U.
Yeah, it's the thing is with Nintendo stuff is like, don't get me wrong, they're all in on Mario. Like that's their main thing. I get that. Zelda's probably I think a close second that they invest quite a bit on. But I do miss playing a lot of games like yeah, Star Fox or Metroid. I would love another good, clean written Metroid game.
Apparently,
You know.
like Chibi Robo was really good,
Mm.
and problem is nobody played it because there was no advertising for it.
That's fair. And I mean, like, have you heard anything from Kirby lately either?
Um, Kirby, they have
I realize I don't own a Switch, and so I don't pay attention these days to too much of
yeah
like the Nintendo stuff because they're only on the Switch, right? But like, I used to love playing all these games, and I just
on the
I've heard a lot about obviously Zelda. Breath of the Wild was very big when it released and stuff, and Mario's obviously always doing its stuff. But like, yeah, I just haven't heard a lot from like yeah Metroid or Kirby.
on
And
I
maybe I'm just out of the loop.
I think on the Switch they have I think it's an online game for Kirby,
Mm.
and I think that's it.
Hmm.
I think there was like a
Fair.
damn it. I
Oh
think
no.
that character like T posed for a bit, but yeah, no. Kirby has an online game for the Switch on the Switch store.
Okay.
Um, Other than that, I can't remember if there was a release of any recent Kirby games. But like honestly, the only other one I remember is Epic Yarn.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious because there's just a few IPs that I haven't heard too much about lately.
Sorry, this is a boss character,
No,
and
go for it, man. Go for it.
just going to try and go ham on him for a second. Trying out some like different strategies for him.
Hmm. Nice mixture of speed.
Well, just like get some distance, you know.
You know they're getting mad when there's lots of collateral damage.
And they start sending in the friggin' drones.
Well, essentially, your boss is having a temper tantrum.
I think I think this guy at later in this game he becomes like an ally or something.
Of course.
Well, it makes
I
sense because he's
reluctantly.
like,
Reluctant ally.
yeah, no, not a reluctant ally. He actually changes completely because
Oh, interesting.
I think he respects your strength, something like that, something dumb.
You
Wait, I'm
hurt
gonna
him.
see if I can.
Super close. Bam.
Well, like you can snipe in this game. I wonder if it does and any extra damage.
Oh.
I'm not paying attention to his health bar, but
No, no, you just want him to get into that little dot, into your sights. So close, too.
did I get him? No, no, I don't. I didn't even. I'm like really trying to like cheese this boss fight too, like, and I don't think I have to, but
Bam. I don't think it does anything, man. You're just taking hits.
yeah, I'm just taking hits. Damn it.
Another temper tantrum? Another temper tantrum.
Like you destroy so many buildings in this game. It's
Well,
unreal.
I feel like anything that has a giant mech is going to have some building collateral damage.
Yeah, like if you're gonna build a mech game, you need destructible. You need destructible elements in your game because that's gonna happen. It's
Hmm.
gonna happen. Freaking
Well, like, unless the mech battle's in space, not planet side,
oh man,
you're going to break something.
I haven't played a decent like mech game recently.
Oh, no.
Did I die? What the heck?
You took too many hits earlier.
Yeah, I did. God damn it.
It's okay. We're on track with what usually happens. Third time's a charm, yes?
Yeah. Honestly, honestly though, there's no way to like regain health in this game.
I noticed that actually was as you're just playing through. I'm like, oh, when you take the hit, you just take the hit. Like,
Yeah, and it's like it's kind of annoying, but
but I don't know. Like, it kind of makes sense from a practical point of view. Pilots can't go and get supplies in mid-flight. So
I suppose so. But it's as a gameplay design standpoint, it's like annoying.
fair enough.
I mean, I understand wanting to be practical, but you also got to take in consideration of of the player, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Oh, I think I found like a little dead spot for that dude.
Let's see if it works.
No, like there's this angle where his gun just couldn't reach me, which is
Well, yeah,
weird.
because you were almost over him.
Ooh. Oh, how how dumb a cheese would that be if I was like just keep on like shooting at him, shooting at him, shooting at him, and then he just wouldn't just his mech just wouldn't be able to aim up. Oh, I think that's exactly what's happening.
Hey, hey, hey! You gotta
Oh,
get a little closer.
yeah, but for some reason the front forward wouldn't move.
Mm. Steven,
Oh
like,
my
what is
god.
this? We broke it. We broke Robocheck.
Oh,
Temper tantrum warranted.
that's hilarious. Oh.
In the one where Steven broke Robo.
Okay, so here's the thing. There's this little I don't know what's up with this boss. I think he does something, but he makes the my mech just like not move.
Mm. To make him not move in the proper position.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna try and do.
My god, look at this.
He's smoking.
I'm gonna be really sad if you lose this fight.
Oh my god, shut up. You're gonna jinx it. But his health is slowly whittling down. Oh, this is good.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh, see, I'm looking right at you. I'm doing this.
I know. You're not even paying attention right
Oh my
now.
god. PlayStation 2.
Good job. And just so you know,
Oh, yeah, see, I finally got a decent hit accuracy with my gun.
because you're not moving around. So
Okay.
just so everyone knows, no, if this is a real thing and we just don't know about it, this was not looked up. This was discovered on the fly.
I was just discovering this on the fly.
Oh,
I,
oh
I
man.
think I'm playing on hard too, right? Because I was like thinking to myself, yo, I played this game already on normal. I might as well play it on hard just to like get something else in there. But hey, they
And,
gave me a medal.
oh, because you found the cheat. You broke the game. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, I think it was just that one boss fight. I had no idea about that cheese. I
Oh, that's
totally
fun.
cheesed them.
Oh, that's so good.
Just
And on
the
that note, dreams really do come true, folks.
just the look on your face as I was like looking right at you while I was just hitting the thrusters while firing at them, man.
Because legit, what was in my head was like, no way. Like, no. What's happening? Oh, good spot, guys. All right. Thanks you for joining us for another Mecha Panda Plays as we see Steven has, exploited a hole, if you will, in in this boss battle. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens next. But you know what? There's one thing that we have to note. He did not leave a man behind. So excellent.
Bye, everybody.